I'm sort of a one-man army, as many people, I guess. And it's really hard with sometimes with allocating the time because I'm focused primarily on content, on delivering to customers and to sales directly, like reaching out to customers. But I'm also super curious about influencers. And I never done it before, but I was just wondering if it will make any sense to allocate time. Where am I right now with spending some of my time on influencers marketing, trying to reach out to people on Instagram or maybe LinkedIn even better. So I just wanted to hear what's your thoughts about that.
Well, I think, look, again, at the youth that you're at the ambition that you have, I'm always, one thing that always scares me about my narrative is people always ask me, how much do I sleep? Or am I an advocate of not sleeping? Because I'm not. I think people should sleep 6, 7, 8 hours, depending on your body. I'm a huge advocate on what the fuck are you doing the other 18 hours, right? And so when I hear your question, the answer is, of course you should. You know you should. You know you should test. Everybody here should spend meaningful amounts of time testing everything. Everything. That's what you're supposed to be doing because you don't know the answer for your specific nuance if LinkedIn or a podcast or influencer marketing or, you don't know if that's going to be the turning point. And what you're doing is you're doing too many things. People are keeping their time precious when it's their biggest asset. People are not reinvesting money back into their business because they want to buy dumb shit. People are not trying things because if they fail, they worry about what other people think about that failure. And so we're all, the answer is yes to everything. I literally, fuck it. I'm like, yes, and I can leave and go fucking fly to LA right now. Because the next 3 hours is yes. It is. It's yes. So, of course you should. Like, what are you doing for 18 hours a day? Find an hour and do it for an hour every day to get to the answer. And then also understand that the first 10 times you do it, it might not be right. Because it's like, I always talk about the ROI. People are like, what's the ROI of influencers or VR or the ROI of those 10 hours reaching out to influencers? The ROI of a basketball is very different to people. To me, it's nothing. To LeBron James, it's $1 billion. So all this stuff works. It's, are you good at it, is a whole nother question. So it's not just the ROI of trying it, then you got to get good at it. Nothing you're good at right now, you were so great at the first time you tried it. So, of course, man, like everything that's happening, you need to figure out how it works for your business, B2B, B2C, personal brand. The question is, what are you doing with your time? And so that's why I get mad at people who want to be an entrepreneur and watch 4 hours of Netflix a weekend. And by the way, people need escapism. You need to check out. You need to rest. You have to be in a mental place. But the scrutiny that we have to put on our time as young entrepreneurs, it's just time or money. Talent is the variable that sits in, but the assets that you're sitting with in the beginning are time, and then you amass money, and then you can use the money to save time, and you're just going back and forth, and everybody wants these big dreams, and they're not willing to work at the level they need to when that's the advantage they have. So, fuck yes, you should.
I just want to wrap it up, and that's the biggest inspiration I got from you since 2014, just to cut off the crap and just fucking work. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I just want to say one thing. If that's your ambition, you can work 10 hours a week. If you're happy, I'm happy. But don't go running around saying you're going to build a $17 million business and think you're going to do that on 25 hours a week. That person doesn't exist. Anybody you know who's built something meaningful has worked for it. I know people have inherited money, but they're not the one that built it. Anybody you know that built something, put in the work. There's just no shortcut. It's like working out. You can't think about push-ups. Good.
Thank you.
And before we take the next question, you can begin to wonder if you want to ask Gary something, because we got a few more questions prepared, but then it's up to you, the audience.
Awesome.
So, yeah, in a while we'll set you free. Jonas, over here.
How are you, Jonas?
Oh shit, I can't believe I'm talking to you, man.
Don't worry, brother. It's going to be okay.
All right, so my question is, in a very, very early stage of the startup, my first startup,
Yep.
and on a very, very tight budget,
Yep.
The first thing to focus on, the most important thing, and how to.
There's so much, brother. So,
Yeah, but it's so overwhelming, that's why I'm asking you.
I mean, I think a lot of what I just talked about is true. The biggest advantage you have right now is your time. It's your number one asset. You're young. You should have plenty of energy. You're hungry. You're ambitious. Great. You need to work every goddamn minute you can. It's the single biggest thing you've got. The other thing is you need to figure out how to get leverage, right? So you need to figure out what does that mean. So what's the business?
Right now it's a web shop selling posters.
It's a what, brother?
A web shop selling posters.
A web shop selling posters?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're a web shop that, when you say posters, physical?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're trying to sell them to people?
Yeah.
And how much does it cost you to make them?
$10 right now. It's in very small pieces, like in package.
So one thing that I'm a huge fan of in the beginning is doing a lot of work for free. And people get very mad at me for this advice. I don't know why, because they debate me in theory instead of actually ever living a business. You know, one of the things that you're looking for is awareness. You need to let people know you exist. One of the great ways to do that is to do free work for people that have awareness. You're giving them work, they're giving you awareness. So I would have a hardcore strategy in the market that you're trying to fulfill to do free work and reach out to the companies or individuals and say, I want to do this for you for free because I like your work. This is the kind of work we do. Would you like it? And by the way, I have 1,000 people a day offer me free, and I don't take them up on it because the value exchange of the time is not worth it. So just because you even offer it for free doesn't mean they'll take you up on it. But the number one thing I would do first, if I was your partner, I was like, cool, let's get side jobs, let's sell shit, let's do something else to mass dollars, let's borrow money, let's rent money, let's raise capital, or let's take our money that we have together to do as much free work for the biggest celebrity, the biggest athlete, the biggest business, the coolest thing, the coolest festival, the coolest brand, free, as long as we're getting awareness out of it to build our brand to then create deal flow.
All right, you think that's possible too with a very tight budget? You're meaning that I have to work free for them, or then I have to provide some of my products for them for free?
Both. Free and free.
Yeah.
So, which could mean that you may have to get a side job at night or borrow money or have a separate business altogether, or do services for other people at low costs. Like, what I get surprised that people don't understand is, what are the alternatives? Like, why are you asking me this question? You're asking because you don't have the answer right now, because there's not that many alternatives when you don't have a lot of money and nobody knows what the fuck your product is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So entrepreneurship is super fun and cool on Instagram, but in real life it sucks shit. So, doing shit for free is not fun. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that I have a part-time job right now, so
That's good.
Yeah, and I'm working on this after hours.
Great. So the
So
money.
you just want me to use all the money for the business, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
After.
don't buy another thing. No more nice jacket.
That was from my mom, so.
Respect. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I think a small company that makes posters, number one arbitrage is to make posters for free for things that will give them awareness. When people are like, who made that poster? If your brand's there, things of that nature, that is your number one move you can do when you're tiny. And so you just need to be able to afford that, including selling the nice jacket that your mom gave you. I mean...
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Okay. Miguel,
But you know
where
what?
are you?
But you know what? Real quick,
Yeah.
because it's a funny moment. It's just very true. Like there's a reason immigrants over-index in success. That's the kind of shit they do. They don't buy anything. They live in a place that has a shitty house for 7 years and save every dollar, even though they could have moved out 2 years earlier or 4 years earlier. Non-entrepreneurs, as soon as they get a little money, buy dumb shit instead of putting it back into their business. And so, like, it seems like a funny joke, but like, when you have no options, you have no options. Like, it's not miraculously gonna happen. And everybody got tricked because of venture capital funding. And everybody thinks they're gonna write a business plan on paper and go out and find some miraculous VC. And then they complain, well, in Denmark and Norway, they don't have good VCs, but Silicon Valley is a fucking bitch too. They'll take the meeting, but they're not gonna give you money either. And so we need to be smart and more practical. That's real life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, Miguel, where are you? Down here? Can we get a mic runner?
Smack in the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, Miguel.
Oh my God, Gary Vee is in the house and I'm about to ask a question.
Yes, you are.
Okay, hi Gary.
How are you?
Very good. If you're about to open a trampoline park in Copenhagen in around 4 months, how would you approach the marketing until the opening and after?
Okay, let's start with the 4 months. Is that an arbitrary thing or is that 100% locked in? Like, why 4 months?
I had a meeting with the owner, the boss, yesterday, and he wants me to run it, but he wanted to do the marketing. And I asked him, what would you do? Facebook ads and Google ads, and that's it.
That's what you asked him?
Yes, he would do the marketing with Facebook ads and Google ads.
And that's what he wants to do?
That's it.
Okay.
And what would you do?
I'm very high on that. I kind of did a little bit of homework on like the attention arbitrage in Copenhagen before I got here. I think that's cool. I would just add influencer marketing on top of that. I think there's a lot of Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook personalities that I think can bring disproportionate attention to this and are underpriced. It's incredible to me that there's a lot of individuals in the Copenhagen metro area and suburbs that you could invite for free that even have 719 fans or 3,000 fans on some of these platforms, that the ROI of you giving it to them for free for the photo is worth it for you from a business standpoint. So I would say those three. And then, look, it's very abstract to say you're gonna do Facebook and Google. Really understanding the content that you need to make in a Facebook environment is incredibly important. So, you can waste $10,000 on Facebook in a month very quickly if you don't know what you're doing. And so just make sure that you guys have a deep understanding on the kind of content that will convert. Are you trying to, and then also the 4 months before and the 4 months after. In the 4 months before, I would drive them to a landing page that has a Google form that fills out so that you can use that data to remarket when you open. Then after the fact, you're driving them to a place where frictionless conversion to the tickets or the packages that you're selling.
All right. What about something like make people, the journey of now we're here, now they're manufacturing the trampoline parks in Hanover.
This is the thing similar to the VR physical service. This is the thing that I want to make sure everybody understands because a lot of you are paying attention to what I'm doing and I'm a believer. I'm a believer in the documenting the journey instead of creating. I just want to remind everybody that there are millions of documentaries made every year, but only 13 of them are things that people want to watch. So yes, I believe it, but can you and can he and can others make a great documentary on the journey that makes people really want to watch and fall in love with the characters that is a real challenge, but if you can do it, yes, I'm super interested in it. And I want to remind everybody that's now thinking about this first time they're hearing it, there's so much young talent out there that just want to get their, their first work out there as a videographer or as a post editor. I believe that everybody here can hire 2 to 3 incredible creative interns, pay them very little, but their ROI is the work. And they get a body of work. And that's an incredible opportunity for both parties. We've never had people that have been editing on YouTube since they were 6 years old and are now 17 and producing this kind of quality post-production. That is not the world we grew up in. And so I think yes, and keep in mind that you might be able to grab the extra hands even for poster, like the fact that you can get somebody to work for free because for her, the documentation output is a project she can point to if she chooses to take that risk because she has the same mindset as you to work for free. I think there's a lot of creators out there that are looking for opportunities minimum wage free, and obviously there's laws and you'll have to navigate what the reality of what you can do, but very low cost, high quality creators are in the system right now. Another thing for you to think about. Look, for sure, if you could make a vlog of the road leading up to this, but I'm telling you right now, brother, it's hard to get people to get really excited and watch, so I don't want you to disproportionately put too much energy into it or be thoughtful and go all in for 6 to 8 weeks, and if you don't, you've got to be smart about that. You can't be ideological about documenting versus creating. Can't be ideological about anything.